How do you tap into the unadvertised job market? We hear about this term all the time, and I still find there's a lot of confusion across executives, from junior to very senior executives, about how the unadvertised market really works. The reality is that it is where the bulk of the board appointments and the bulk of the executive career moves, particularly at a senior level, take place. The reality is that referrals, word of mouth recommendations play a massive part in securing a senior quality employment. And of course, the way the unadvertised market needs to be fully understood if you're going to be successful in securing those types of opportunities in the future. The reality is that very few companies these days want to waste a lot of money putting ads up on the usual places like your Seeks and your LinkedIns to be bombarded with large amounts of candidates that you've then got to screen, handle, process, have some sort of dialogue with, and really at the end of the day you're probably not getting the people that you actually want for your business. The vast majority of companies have some form of an employee referral system in place, and they have very sophisticated talent management and HR systems which are designed to attract and retain that top talent to the business. So they don't need to go down an advertised route. When they are looking for senior hires, though, they often have to be extremely confidential, and that's why they will often engage with an executive search firm. So executive search firms do form a big part of the unadvertised market. Those firms typically do not advertise. They are using their database, their relationships with senior executive candidates to put forward a long list or a short list to an organisation for a role that they've been engaged to fulfill. And so it's a critical part of your overall strategy to tap into the unadvertised market and to really forge quality, long-term relationships with corporate headhunters. Now, I get a lot of people who give me a lot of grief about headhunters and how they're not very pleasant to deal with, or they don't respond, or they don't follow up with communication in a timely fashion. Well, I hate to say it, but to a certain extent you have to get over that, because these people are really the main conduit to a lot of very senior roles, typically roles that are over a certain quantum, usually about 200,000. They're usually always handled by executive search firms or by the company direct. So that's the other key component to the unadvertised market. It's the direct approach, going directly to companies that you would like to work for, either making an approach to a very senior line manager that you maybe have a relationship with, or being referred into their recruitment or HR talent management systems, whether that be speaking to the HR director or the head of recruitment within that company, depending on how large that firm is. And of course, most companies these days have some form of a expression of interest offering, either via their website, and you'll see that there is a mechanism to get engaged by that company. Now, the larger companies, like your big firms like your Microsofts and the Googles of the world, they literally get tens and tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of applications via their HR system. So you have to recognize that with the bigger firms, you still have to consider how you're going to be connected, and that's where it comes back to referral and recommendation champions who are going to champion you through the recruitment process. So that's the final component to the equation. It's the business networks, and they're extremely powerful, and you have to nurture your network over a long period of time, and you have to be very cognizant of the key role that a network can play, a key relationship can play in opening a door to a really credible career opportunity. I was speaking to a very experienced board director the other day. He'd come through all of my programs 10 plus years ago, and he disclosed to me his current board portfolio, and he said to me, "Kylie, you told me this is how it would play out, and it's turned out to be true." Almost every single one of those board appointments had come through his business network, through taking a proactive approach. And that's the reality of how this game works, and just understanding that paradigm. So you've got to understand the unadvertised job market. It's really crucial for senior executives as you're transitioning through career moves, because that is the key way that you're going to secure your next dream opportunity.